Hi everyone, I'm Indira Bandari, working as a senior data consultant in Datacom, and I'm joining all the way from New Zealand.
Hi everyone, my name is Medha Bandari, and I'm a 15-year-old student in New Zealand. And today our topic is going to be about report design and navigation, just some tips and tricks on that.
Before we start our session, we are going to introduce ourselves. So my name is, as I said, Indira Bandari, and I have a master's degree in statistics. And I have started my journey in New Zealand almost 20 years ago, a long time. I have played various roles from information analyst to systems analyst, and working mainly on Microsoft Stack, BI Stack. And now I'm working as a senior data consultant. And in 2016, I had this passion of teaching kids all about technology. So I started off with game development classes and then slowly progressed to teach SQL and Power BI to kids. And this passion has resulted in me setting up a Kids Tech Charitable Trust, for which I am the director. So that's a little bit about me, and you can see my contact details, my Twitter and my blog, and my LinkedIn details. Medha, can you introduce yourself?
As I said, I'm Medha Bandari, and I am a year 11 student at Mount Albert Grammar School here in New Zealand. So I first started getting into this technology thing when I was around 8 years old, when I won a game development competition run by JHack. And from then onwards, I was really interested in creating games, coding, and working with data. And later on, I started going to my mum's Power BI and SQL classes, and that's where I learnt and gained a little more interest on this field. And then I started in lockdown in 2020. I started my own YouTube channel where I started creating beginner Excel videos for everyone, and I also started creating Power BI videos. Made me learn for myself, just learn more myself. I also taught in the coding for kids classes that were held at the end of last year, and a lot of kids joined in it. I feel like it was a great way for me to work more on and learn new things from all the kids that were making games. And also I have spoken in various Power BI meetups and conferences. So that's a bit about me, and if you want to contact me, my email is medhabandari@gmail.com, and please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, NZ Tech Girl. That's my link.
Let's look at today's agenda. I'm going to cover how to choose the right chart type for which kind of data.
I'm going to cover how to set up drill-through reports.
And I'm going to cover how to set up tool tips.
And I'm going to show you how to make bookmarks.
And I'm going to cover page navigation. So that is the agenda for the session. So hope you all will learn something out of it. Now, there are a lot of charts. As you have seen, you can have line charts, maps, bar or column charts, bubble charts, histograms, pie chart or scatter plots. And if you choose the wrong graph, your readers will be confused as to what you are trying to show the results as, or what they want to interpret from the data. And if you choose the wrong graph to do that, there is a chance of them interpreting the data incorrectly. So that's why before creating a graph, it is important to decide what data you want to visualize and for what purpose. Is it to compare different data points, or is it to show data distribution, or for instance, which data points are frequent and which are not, or to show the structure of something with the help of your data, to follow the connections between data points and things like that. So let's have a look at these kind of purposes and see what kind of charts are suitable for those purpose. So if your purpose is do you want to compare values, so then what you can use is the column chart or bar chart or pie chart, line chart or scatter plot. But just remember that if you are using a pie chart, then it's better to use it only if you have less than 5 categories, not more than that. Otherwise you can't make out from the pie segments which one is, if you are comparing values, if 2 pies are close to each other, then you can't determine which one is bigger and which one is a smaller pie. So preferably when you are using pie charts, don't use pie charts when you have more than 5 categories. And if you want to show composition, the best charts are stacked column chart, stacked bar chart, again pie chart same goes here, and waterfall chart. You can show waterfall chart. Mainly waterfall chart is used for profit and loss, showing your profit and loss, and also area charts. And if you want to understand the distribution, then you can use column chart, bar chart, scatter plot and line charts. And if you want to analyze trends, the main things that you can use is column chart and line chart and dual axis line. So what you can have is you can have a column chart in one axis and a line chart in another axis to show the trend. Yeah, if you want to understand relationship between value sets, the best plots that you can use is scatter plots or line charts or bubble charts, and you can vary the size depending on the value sets. Now let us look at some design best practices for various visuals. For line chart, try to use only solid lines, and also do not plot more than 4 lines to avoid visual distractions. If you have around 8 to 9 lines, you don't know which line pertains to which category, so it's better for you to use just 4 lines. That's the recommended best practice. And also use the right height, so the lines take up roughly 2/3 of the y-axis height. For bar graphs and column charts, use consistent colors to highlight meaningful data points or changes over time. And also use horizontal labels. Sometimes I have seen some charts where they use vertical labels, and then you have to turn your head to read exactly what the labels are. If you want, you can shorten the labels, but try to use only horizontal labels. And also always start the y-axis at 0. Sometimes when you try and create a chart, sometimes in Excel, it auto adjusts to the scale that is minimum of the data. But preferably if you use 0 at start the y-axis at 0, that will appropriately reflect the values in your graph. Now for area chart, use transparent colors when you are trying to cover the area. And also here don't display more than 4 categories, and organize your highly variable data to the top to make it easy for the readers to understand. And for stack bar and column charts, best used to illustrate part to whole relationships. For example, when you have 100% stacked, out of the 100%, how much percentage each is representing. For those kind of data, you can use the stack bar or column charts, and also use contrasting colors for greater clarity, and make chart scale large enough to view group sizes. Now for dual axis charts, where you have one axis as a column and the other axis as a line, like I have shown here, use the y-axis on the left side for the primary variable, and on the right side to the line axis for the secondary variable. And also use different graphing styles to illustrate the 2 data sets. So one can be line and one can be column. And also choose contrasting colors so that we are depicting 2 different data sets here. So these are the considerations. And for pie charts, don't illustrate too many categories to ensure differentiation between slices. and ensure that the slice values add up to 100%, otherwise people won't understand if it goes more than 100%. And order slices according to the size, then it'll be easy for users to understand what you're trying to show. Now for scatter plot, include more variables to incorporate more data, and also here also start the y-axis at 0 to represent data accurately. And if you use trend lines, only use a maximum of 2 trend lines. And for bubble charts, make sure you scale bubbles according to area and not the diameter. And also make sure you labels are clear and visible if you are showing the labels. And also mainly use only circular shapes. Charts you can use different shapes, but circular shapes will be more understandable. Now waterfall charts, as I said, it is mostly used in profit analysis, and also use contrast colors for the profit and loss to highlight the differences in data sets, and also choose warm colors to indicate the increases and cool colors to indicate the decreases. And next comes bullet graphs. Use contrasting colors to highlight the how the data is progressing, and also use one color in different shades to gauge the progress.
Now I'm going to be doing a demo on how to insert drill down and drill throughs in your Power BI report. So a drill down is basically getting more general information and making it into more detailed information. And drill through is usually used to identify the columns that are to be used to drill through from one report to another. So one report page is just going to be like very less detailed, and then the drill through allows you to take to a different page, and on the different page there's going to be a lot more detail of the data. So let's get into it. Okay, so over here I have an AdventureWorks sales data set, and first I'll start off by showing you how to drill down. So I'll go into here. So first I'm going to start off by getting a stacked column chart. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to make it bigger. Okay, now over here to the right I have my data, so I'm just going to go and get the date hierarchy and put it into the x-axis, and then the y-axis I'm going to put in my sales amount. My sales amount. So here, so this sales amount is going to be on the y-axis. Okay, so now as you can see, the sales amount for each year. So in 2017, this much, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So now how to drill down is this button over here. So if we click on drill down, so the drill down's turned on, and I click on a specific year, so I click on year 2019, and here we go. So it's drilled down to the first quarter of the year, so January, February, March, and so it gives us the sales amount for the first quarter of the year, right? For each month. And then if I click drill down again, for example, if I click on quarter 3, it will drill down again to the days. Now if I click on it again, I don't think we can go further than that. Yeah, so days, and then if we want to drill back up, we just go drill up, and it will take us to the month again. And so if we click on September, it will drill back down to the days in September. The drill down is just used to get more and more detail out of visualization. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be showing is the drill through. So how to do a drill through in this data that I have. So over here I have a page with less detail, and this graph over here, this bar graph shows the sales amount by category, so of bikes, components, clothing, and accessories. So this is the sales amount the normal sales amount and then the sales amount by due date. I'm going to be drill throughing this bikes category. So to do this, first we need to set up a drill through page. So when we click drill through over here, it's going to take us to a more detailed page, which is right over here. So I've made a details page. So this is my details page, and what I need to do is get that bikes data into more detail over here. So to do that, to create a drill through, I have to just put category. So let me just search up category. So category is going to go into this add drill through fields over here. So I'm just going to grab the, so under products, I'm going to say category in there. Just put it into here. And yeah. So now I'm going to go back into my first page. So this page over here. And now when I click on this, I right click on this, it's going to say drill through, and it will take us to details. And here we go. As you can see, it's drilled through to the more detailed page, and it shows us only the details for the bikes data and the sales amount for bikes, and it talks about the bikes over here. And yeah, so this is a more detailed how this is how the drill through shows us way more detail than the first page. Now one last thing on here is you can also use this back button over here, so control click, and it takes you back to your simple graph. So yeah, that's how you do a drill through.
Now to add to what Medha has demonstrated, I want to add a tip here. We want to show, what if we want to show which category was selected from the main page. So for that we need to create a DAX measure. So I'm going to create a DAX measure in the sales table. I'll just to create the DAX measure, right click on the sales table and then create a new measure, and I'll call this measure as title, and I use the function called selected value. So selected value, choose from there, and what I'll do is selected value requires two arguments. One is the selected value of the field. So our field here is category, so I will choose the field category. Selected measure, it has selected value, selected value, and this requires two values, as you can see, column name and alternate result. So I'm going to choose product category because that's what we are choosing from the main page, and then put a comma there as per the syntax. And then what would be the alternate result is, if there is no category that is selected, I want to display all categories, and then close the brackets. So here I have the measure as title. Now what I do is I'm going to insert a card visual here, and then add the title, the newly created measure title, into the card visual, and then format it in such a way that I am not displaying any titles there. So format to format, and category label, I'm just going to take it out. So because since Medha chose bikes there, now it is showing as bikes, and then you can use the back arrow to go back to the main page. And if you want to choose another category here, right click and drill through to the details, and now you can see that components category was chosen instead of the bikes category. So that's a little tip that you can utilize. when you are using drill throughs. So that was the demo on drill down and drill through. Now let's go to tooltips demo. So for this I'm going to switch back to Power BI file. So here is my Power BI file with sales. Now what I want to show is this has sales amount and sales amount by due date, these two as area chart in by month. So for this what I want to show is a tooltip page. The default tooltip page is showing whatever fields that we add to the graph, but I want to show a custom tooltip page where I show the total sales and also sales by category, both combined. So to do this I'm going to create a tooltip page. So I'm just going to click on plus here and then name it as tooltip page. And before we start putting the visuals on this page, what I want to do is I want to format this page as a tooltip page. So to do that I'll go into the format pane and go into canvas settings and change the type of the page to tooltip. So now the tooltip size has been defined, so we have only very restricted space here. And also make sure once you turn the tooltip page, the page in the page information part, make sure that this is ticked, allow use as tooltip. So now for this page it is ticked. Now what I want to do is I want to add a card visual on this page with the sales amount and just want to resize it a bit so that it's not too big, and also add a custom clustered bar chart. Just click on it and I'll add the sales amount there in the x-axis, and I'll add the category to the y-axis so that it shows the bikes and components and clothing. Now I want to use this as a tooltip for my sales page. So in order to do that, what we need to do is select this visual, come back to the visual that you are trying to use the tooltip on, and go to highlight the visual and then click on the format page, go into general, and here you have tooltips. Make sure that this is switched on and then click on the down arrow and try and define your report page to the tooltip page. So make sure that the type is a report page, and under the page it is auto here. Auto means it will come as default. So I want to change from default to tooltip, and once that is done, then when I hover over here, so it starts showing my custom tooltip page that I have created. This shows more information compared to the so this is showing, in addition to the sales amount, it is showing sales amount by bikes. What is the composition of the bikes of the category? So bikes, components and clothing. So when we go there, notice the change in the figures. So this way you can use a custom tooltip page.
Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you how to create bookmarks. So to start off with, I'm going to go into the view tab, and then I'm going to click on bookmarks over here. So as you can see, it opens up the bookmark pane. So bookmarks are basically they're kind of like buttons where, like, so for example, if I want to bookmark this page, so this exact layout, this is going to be my home page. So no matter what, like if I click on if I make a button out of the bookmark and I click on it, and I click on this specific bookmark, I'll name it as home, then it will take you back to this exactly. So first let's just start by making a bookmark for this. So I'll just go add. So it's created a bookmark for this exact layout for me over here, and I'm just going to rename this to home. So that's my bookmark for this layout here. Now, the next bookmark I'm going to make is for bikes. So if I just click on bikes here, as you can see, the data over here has changed. So now I'm going to bookmark this. So I'm going to create this bookmark. So in this bookmark, it's going to look exactly like this. So if I'm just going to rename this to bikes. So this is the bikes category. Okay, so now as you can see, if I go to home, so this is the bookmark that I've created. So it was the starting bookmark where none of them were selected. Now if I click on bikes, it will show us the bookmark for the bikes data. Okay, so the next bookmark I want to create is for components. So if I click on components, as you can see, the data over here has changed too. So I'm going to make a new bookmark for this, and this is what the components bookmark is going to look like. So components, rename it to that. I'm going to create it for each one of these. So now I'm going to go clothing. Yep, and it's changed again. So again, new bookmark, and let's rename it to clothing. And the last bookmark is accessories. Click on accessories. Again, this is the bookmark I want to create. So rename it to accessories. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, this is a home bookmark, the bikes bookmark, the components bookmark, clothing, and accessories. So I've created 5 bookmarks. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you how to make these bookmarks that we've created into like buttons on the screen, so that when we click on it, it's going to open up to what we want. So to do this, I'm just going to go into Insert, the Insert tab, and then I'm going to go into Buttons. So once I click on that, I just click on a random button, like whatever icon you want. I'm just going to go with a blank button. And as you can see, it pops up over here. I'm just going to bring this button down here. And okay, so I'm going to make this button the home button. So, the home bookmark. So what I'm going to do is here in button format, first I'm just going to change my button's title to home, and I can make it as big as I want. So I think, yep, that should be fine. And maybe a font change. Maybe this font. Okay, yeah, perfect. So and you can also make it bold. Yep. And I think we should just keep the text color. Yep. Okay, let's just keep it like that. Now, so what I want to do is I want to make this button into this bookmark. So what I need to do for that is just go back into button over here and go into action and turn it on. Then when I go underneath here, where it says type, if we just click on that, there's bookmark over here. So when I click bookmark, say that, and then over here in under bookmark, I click home. Cool. So now this button has been linked to the bookmark home. So let's test it out now. So if we click, okay. So now we're just going to control click, and it will go to home. Now another little tip that I want to give is how to use a bookmark navigator. So a bookmark navigator is when all of your bookmarks are just on one page in like a single line. So for that, I'm just gonna go into fresh page. Yeah, so over here I'm gonna go into insert, and then under buttons again, I go down, and where it says navigator, I click on bookmark navigator. So when we click on that, this is just an easy, simple way to get all of your buttons on one page. But this usually only works if you have like a small amount of buttons. Like, for example, if you have like 20 buttons, it's obviously not going to look that great. So this bookmark navigator tip is just for if you have a small amount of buttons. Now, as you can see, if we control click onto this, it's take us to home. So okay, now I'm just going to show you like how you can format this too. So as you can see, format navigator. If I just go into general, you can obviously like edit your title, and you can also change the style of things. So like change the font of this to maybe like a bold. Yeah, so all of them change. So if you change one of them, then all of them will change. And yeah, that's my little tip for bookmarks.
In addition to what Medha showed about bookmarks, I want to add one more tip for bookmarks. Here I have a visual for sales amount and sales amount by due date, by month, as an area chart, and I want to also display let's say a column chart. So I'm just going to copy this one and paste it on top of this one, on top of the same. I'm just going to create a duplicate and change that to let's say clustered column chart, and I'm going to take the y-axis and I'll add region to the y-axis. So basically what this is showing is, it's showing sales amount and sales amount by due date by region. So if I want to toggle these two, you can use bookmarks here as well. So what I'll do is I'll create a bookmark with this visual as column chart. You can also use a selection pane, so to hide and show the bookmarks, show the visuals on the page. So in order to do that, you click on the view and selection pane, selection, and then this will open a selection pane, and in this you can see that you can actually name each of them. So this one is region, so I'll just say column chart, and once I click here I can see the other one, and I can say this as the, I'm just renaming this visual as the area chart. Area. Now what I can do is, so this is area. So what I'll do is, I'm just going to hide the you can hide the visual, area visual. I'm just, to hide it, I'm just clicking on the eye here. So I'm just hiding the column. So you can see that I have hidden the column visual. Now I'll create a bookmark for area. So I'm adding a bookmark and renaming that to area, and if I click on column chart, I need to update this one. So at this stage I will hide the area and update this bookmark. You can right click and update the bookmark so that it shows only the column chart. Now I'll create two buttons here. So one can be insert button, and I can say, let's say I'm going to use a bookmark button. So this got inserted. Now this one I can change the title to column chart. And I'm going to add the action for the button as bookmark, and because we named it as column, so I think, yeah, column chart. I want to display the column chart for that. Yeah, column chart, and just copy the same thing and create another, paste it, and here what I'll do is I'll just change it to area chart, change the title to area chart, and add the action to the button as a bookmark type and area. Change the bookmark to area. Now when we control click on the area chart, it shows the area chart, and when we control click the column chart, it shows the column chart. So this way you can utilize the space and display more visuals on the same page. So this is another tip that you can consider. Now that we have seen the bookmarks demo, let's go into the page navigation demo. Page Navigator is nothing but adding the menu items based on the page names here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. So let's try and see how we can add the Page Navigator here. So go to Insert, and again Buttons, and when you see the Navigator, you have the Page Navigator and the Bookmark Navigator. So click on the Bookmark Navigator, and what it does is it adds all the pages as the bookmarks. Now what I want to do is I want to show a bit of formatting in this Page Navigator. So what I'll do is I'll just open up the format for, I'll just select the Page Navigator here and open up the formatting of the Page Navigator, and here in the under the grid layout, at the moment it is showing as horizontal, but what I want is for the menu items to be vertical. So I changed it to vertical, but it doesn't look that right. So what we need to do is we just need to resize it and open up here so that they are in line with the, yeah, so now we have resized. Now you can also use the navigator styling to adjust the height and the width of the Page Navigator. So the way to do it is select the Page Navigator pane, and in general open up the properties, and you can say height can be, let's say 500, and width can be, let's say 200, and you can also choose the position. Horizontal position can be 25 pixels width, so that we have 25 pixels margin, and vertical can be, let's say 50, so that it starts at 50 pixels from the top. So now that we have now that it looks like a menu, and also you must have noticed that we have only 5 buttons representing the 5 pages, and we are not seeing the tooltip as a button here because the canvas size is tooltip. So by default you don't see the tooltip page as a button, as a page navigation button here. Now we can add a shape, and I have added the shape here, and I just want to again format the shape using the properties. So go general, properties. Now this with this shape added, we can't see the page navigator buttons. So in order to do that, we can go we can select the shape and go to format and click on send backward, so that we can see the page navigator buttons. You can also achieve it by using the selection pane. So go view selection pane and make sure that your shape is at the bottom of the page, and you can have the page navigator just above it. Now I want to show you the colors as well, how it works. Usually I use the Canva color palette generator, so you have all these color combinations. I like this kind of color, so I'm just clicking on that so that we can just copy and paste these color hex codes. These are called hex codes. So I will get this one as the main background color, and then we can have these colors as the menu item colors. So I'm just going to copy this one for midnight blue and go into shape, into style, fill, and click on more colors and copy the paste the copied format here, so that we get the exact color. So this is how we can, and make sure your transparency is 0. So now that we have changed the colors there, now try and highlight the page navigator. You can change the fill to the shape fill to whatever color that you have chosen. I have chosen this color. Change that, and here I want to show you in the under the style we have different states where you can format the buttons. So here default state will be this color, and if we want to change the color on hover, then we can change the color change the state to hover, and then use the fill color to a different color. So hover at the moment is that color, so I'm going to change it to dark blue, and when it is pressed I want to change it to I'm changing it to press and blue gray. So more colors and blue gray. Similarly selected, I want to change it to bluish color. Now that you have noticed that when selected, that is the color, and hovering over, pressing, and then when you control click, then it will change to, now it is changing to the page details page, and then you can use the back button to go back to the page. So those are the demos for this session, and here we have outlined some resources that we have used. I have also included the color palettes that I have used for
we hope you all learned something from this session.
Please don't forget to fill out the session evaluation forms.
Your feedback is really important to us so that we can improve on our presentation skills.
And finally, thank you to Past Data Community Summit for giving us this opportunity to do this learning pathway. Hope you are enjoying the Past Data Community Summit.